Hey, welcome back to the Happy Place Diaries. I'm Jerry, and right off the bat, I'm just going to say I don't proclaim to be an expert at everything that's RVing. Most of what I've learned about RVing has been through trial and error, through watching videos on the internet, on YouTube and whatnot, and just diving in and not being afraid to do things myself. You get great experience in doing that, and you start building a confidence level that you can do things yourself. So anyway, you'll notice that our videos have been pretty sporadic lately, and we've been trying to kind of figure out what direction the channel needs to go. And I think the niche that we want to fall into is more or less in line with, hey, what can we do to be those people that help RVers out, whether it's an experienced RVer that's going through something with their RV, like a situation that we're going to do today, or it's a brand new RVer, you just drove your RV off the lot. They don't teach you anything, and we're going to show you how to make RVing less intimidating. So that's kind of the direction that the channel is going to take. And we appreciate each and every one of you that comes by to watch our videos. But again, the disclaimer right up front, I never went to a tech school or any of that. Everything that I've learned by watching other RVers, friends of mine that are at the tech level, that have taught us things. And then, of course, just owning an RV, lots of trial and error, and you start learning about the components and all that stuff. So anyway, let's dive into today's video. Okay, so today's video is all about power. And when we were going to put the Montana up on the market, we had some decisions to make when we were looking at the next RV. Now, our Keystone Montana 3761 FL, it shipped with just regular AGM batteries. Over time, we had the opportunity to upgrade to lithium batteries. So we put two 100 amp hour Dragonfly lithium batteries in the Montana, got rid of the AGMs. And we wanted to take those with us because those are 10-year batteries. They're only 2 years old. And so we have a lot of life left in those batteries. And we've never drained them below like 57%. And so even in terms of how many recharge cycles these batteries are like new. So we wanted to take those with us, but we didn't want to leave the next owner of the Montana with no batteries. So I was going to just put some AGM batteries in there and do the right thing by at least giving them something. You got 400 watts of solar on the roof. You've got all the inverter, charge controller, all of that stuff, which has served us very well, even before we went with lithium. So we were just going to put some AGM batteries in and then sell the Montana, put our Dragonflies into the next rig. Well, as you can see, we're still in the Montana, and it's been about 6 months since we purchased some batteries. Now, when we were looking at the AGMs, we found some really good lithium ion Life Pro 4 batteries, and they were on sale like super inexpensive. So rather than AGM batteries, we bought two lithium batteries that we were going to give to the next owner. Well, apparently we're the next owner. These batteries have been sitting out in our garage because I've been afraid to install them, because putting new batteries in with old batteries, I didn't understand the dynamic, so I started doing lots of research. And in that research, I found that putting old batteries, pairing old batteries with new batteries isn't the end of the world. Now, what happens, and if you're one of the tech guys, don't say nasty things in the comments. I already said I'm not an expert. All I know is what I've researched. But adding new batteries to 2-year-old batteries, essentially those lithium batteries, once the battery management systems start talking to each other, they're going to level out and they're going to find themselves somewhere in that 2-year-old range, which means, yes, my new batteries are going to act like 2-year-old batteries, but in the grand scheme of things, our 2-year-old batteries are still acting like brand new batteries and have lots and lots of cycles left in them. So it became a matter of risk and reward. What is the risk of putting new batteries in with these older 2-year batteries? The fact of the matter is, even if I lost 2 years of battery life on the new batteries, that's still 8 years on the 10-year warranty. I don't think I'm going to have this rig in 10 years. And if that is the case, I can always add new batteries 8 years from now. It's kind of like replacing tires. You know you're going to have to do it. So it's just a matter of when and not if. On a 10-year cycle, which the new batteries have the same exact 10-year warranty and the same 10-year cycle, then it really becomes a matter of, am I willing to accept 8 years of battery life? Sure, why not? Again, chances are we're not going to be in the Montana 8 years from now. So the reward is at least I get 400 amp hours out of my battery bank. Okay, enough talk. Let me show you what I'm doing. All right, so I've already done most of the layout work. Today's part of the project is to actually get the cables in. And so I ordered new 1-gauge cables because that is the gauge that's currently in there. But because of the new configuration, the 2 green batteries are my Dragonflies, and they were oriented essentially north to south. So this is the front of the trailer, obviously, and then that's the back of the trailer. So they were oriented this way. Well, the cables don't reach, and then I had to order a couple new cables anyway to run this in parallel. And lots of information about the difference between serial and parallel. Here's all I really know is I want to be in parallel so that I maintain my 12-volt system and I get 400 amp hours out of these batteries. And really, I don't need to be Bill Nye the Science Guy to understand this. All I want is power. That's all I want. I just want 400 amp hours, and that's what I'm going to get. So I ordered new cables because guess what? You can't buy cables at like AutoZone anymore. Or you can, but they're like the little tiny ones. So I ordered these off Amazon. They got here overnight, and we're going to go ahead and put those in parallel. So I had to reorient the battery bank so that it's going east to west. And let me get closer here. So once again, the batteries were going front to back. That's the back of the, and here's the front. And so I reoriented them. I put these, the green OE batteries. They're the Life Pro. Here's the user manual. And so I've got it set up to where all the positives are on this side, all the negatives are on that side. I opened up the Gigi box, which comes standard from Keystone. All your power basically runs into there. And I disconnected all of my cables. This right here, let's see, that right there, the negative terminal is going to go right onto that nut, and it's going to go to this back stud on the battery, and then my power from here, that's going to be my positive. It's going to run from there to here, and then I'll hook up all the other stuff, the heaters and everything else that needs to be hooked in there. So what I did while I was waiting for the cables is when this shipped with AGM batteries, it was inside of a box that had the breathing tube, which the breathing tube is, I just tucked it up here. And then I took that box out and again, reoriented. And then I went and just bought some angle iron and screwed that in so that the batteries won't shift. And then I'm going to run a strap from front to back just to keep them from bouncing. Truth be told, we've never had that happen. So now it's just a matter of rewiring. Okay, so when running in parallel, again, we're going to have positives coming from here to here. This one, not sure what this does, but it was on, so I'm not going to undo it. But it was connected to the battery terminal. If you know what that is, drop that in the comments. But anyway, then here's your battery heater. It's going to go in, and then we're going to run red to red to red to red. And then we're going to go ground, black to black to black to black, and then black down to that shunt or whatever it is right there. Again, don't know the proper terminology. So I got 1 foot and I have some 2-footers, and I'm going to run the batteries first and then I'll connect the power. Right now, my kill switch is off and we're unplugged. And so, yeah, there's no power coming in, so I'm not worried about getting shocked or anything. Okay, so here's the situation. Everything's wired, everything's hooked up properly. Nothing's stretched, everything's tight. You got your power that goes from the battery into the coach. This is the shut off. It's still shut off right now. You got power to positive to positive. You've got negative that comes from here, runs down here to here, negative to negative to negative to negative. These are all nice and tight. My Gigi box is back on, and that light came on, so that means we have 12-volt power because I am unplugged from the 50 amp. So nothing's burning. Now the rest of the job is in the app. So I'll show you that. But the wiring looks good. Everything is uniform. These had to go sideways because of the way that these posts are. And I didn't want to put too much strain on the connection points. But everything looks good, and nothing's on fire yet. All right, let's go plug the coach back in and see what happens, and then we'll check the app. So I really think that the key to doing this is either take pictures, get diagrams, or whatever, but just put it back the way you found it, and you shouldn't have any problems. So anyway, feeling good about this. All right, let's get into that app. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up the app, and it's going to load up and do all its fetching. Then you want to get into your smart shunt. So on this, you see the top one was our charge controller. Now we opened up the smart shunt, and this is showing what our state of charge is at 100%. It's showing that we have 10 days of battery life left. And so that's exactly what we want to see. Going into settings here, you're going to go ahead, hit your settings, and then go to the battery. And on that very top bar right there, you're going to show what your battery wants to be. So we've got it set at 400 amp hours. It used to be at 200. And once you do that, you're pretty much done. All of the rest of the settings remain the same. And all you have to do is tell your Victron system, your shunt, that it's no longer 200 amp hours that we're looking for, but we're looking at 400 amp hours. And like I said, everything else remained the same. We had lithium, and so we didn't have to change any of those settings. And that was pretty much it. And once you change that setting, you could go back to your controller and it's going to show you your state of charge. Here we are opening up the controller, and it's going to show you what is coming in versus what's going out. And again, it's a cloudy day here in Oregon, so there's not a whole lot coming in. But then again, we're not using a whole lot either. We have a few lights running, and that's pretty much it for the app. So again, really, you're just looking at your shunt, looking at the battery, changing your settings. If you're going from AGM to lithium, we're already there, and just telling it what the capacity is, and you're pretty much done. So once again, I'm not an expert at any of this. And I guess the point of this video and all of our videos is that if I could do it, anybody can do it. Now, in full disclosure, I was having trouble connecting to our shunt after we disconnected everything. And some of that had to do with the fact that we got new phones. And so when we transferred everything over, that didn't transfer. And I couldn't find our code. There's too many codes these days. Why can't we just keep it simple? Victron's worried about somebody coming and changing your battery settings. Really? Is that what people are doing? Changing? Anyway, so I had to call a buddy, and he walked me through that. But other than that, the wiring went great, remembering where things came from, how the system flows. And so everything's working perfect. Everything in the trailer, nothing's caught on fire. So we're good to go. Another project done, super simple, and don't be afraid. And then again, like at the beginning, I said, weigh out your risk and reward. We definitely are going to get more reward out of 400 amp hours than 2, especially on this summer trip that we're about to take, because we're taking a long one, and we're going to be staying at a lot of harvestos. So we're going to need some battery power. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, if you got any value out of the video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs up anyway. If you're still here, let me know that you stayed to the end. That's valuable to us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Have a nice day.